Blue is the Warmest Color, the 2013 Palme d'Or winner at the Cannes Film Festival, depicts the harrowing effects of duplicitous self-identity. Film commentary by Sarah Leritz-Higgins. The central character of the film is Adele, a teenager wrestling with unleashed hormones that send her into a dizzying spell of self-discovery. At the dawn of her sexual awakening, she does what she thinks she's supposed to do, as fostered by her family, her culture, and her community. She dates a fellow student at school, a perfectly nice, handsome young man named Thomas. They spend an afternoon together. She extols the virtue of literary character studies, while he, not an avid reader himself, promises to trudge through the book she recommends. They catch a movie where he makes his first move. It's all quite typical teenage behavior. After her first date with Thomas, she fantasizes not about him, but about the woman with the blue hair. She had only briefly locked eyes with the woman as she had crossed the street earlier that day. The fantasy rocks her into a duplicitous world of ecstasy and confusion, moving her to tears. Her blue tank top and the blue wallpaper in her bedroom indicate the launching of a passion that will soon consume her. Though they get along fine, Adele feels no spark for Thomas. Their foray into sexual exploration leads her to deep ambivalence. She thinks she's supposed to be attracted to this handsome young man, but the sexual experience leaves her unfulfilled. He senses her discontentment. She assures him that it was great, but her verbal assessment doesn't match her body language. Adele is distraught over her ambivalence. When her friend Valentine tries to discover what's wrong, she's not sure how to characterize her feelings. She postulates that she's faking everything and missing something. Her distress is apparent. She says she's all messed up. She dreads the inevitable breakup with Thomas. She wrestles with sadness of an ambiguous source that overwhelms her sensitive nature. Soon after her breakup with Thomas, Adele discovers a possible explanation for her ambivalence. One day at school, she and one of her friends engage in casual chit-chat in a cigarette break. The conversation takes a peculiar turn as her friend ogles another girl as she walks by. Before she can figure out what's happening, the friend spontaneously kisses Adele. The scene is symbolically enhanced with blue nail polish, and blue jewelry. The kiss unleashes a tidal wave of feelings for Adele. She is spellbound by the implications. The next day, Adele is still consumed by the kiss and seeks another, but her friend is having none of it. She casually dismisses the original kiss as no big deal. Adele is crushed by the overt rejection. After this crushing rejection, Adele spirals into confusion and detachment. She ignores her friends as she walks by. Her friend and confidant Valentine, sensing her distress, chases after her. Valentine somehow suspects that taking her to a gay bar will assuage her angst. While the gay bar did nothing of the sort, she is compelled to follow a group of lesbians to the bar across the street, where she meets her destiny. The gay bar sets the stage for sexual politics and profound questions of identity. As Richard Brody ponders in an article in The New Yorker, Emma shows up and protects Adele, claiming that they're cousins. Thus their romance begins, and with it the movie's great question. What does it mean to be gay without participating in gay culture? Or rather, is there such a thing as gay culture that differs from homosexuality itself? Does the physical and psychological fact of homosexuality entail a distinctive place in society? The personal is political is a political argument used as a rallying slogan of student movement and second wave feminism from the late 1960s. It underscored the connections between personal experience and larger social and political structures. This becomes Adele's defining conundrum. She struggles with how to coalesce her genuine affection and her ferocious sexual appetite for Emma into a politically charged public sphere. Adele wrestles with a duplicitous identity. She can't quite bring herself to publicly acknowledge Emma to her friends or to her family. At school, the scene gets downright hostile, as her friends taunt her and accuse her of being a lesbian. She adamantly denies it. Yet she is able to confide in Valentine. After swearing him to secrecy, Adele reveals to Valentine some of the details of her relationship with Emma. The following is a deleted scene from the film.
Vas-y, raconte.
Ça reste entre nous?
Bah, bien sûr que ça reste entre nous.
Non, vraiment pas de boulette débile ou
Mais non, pas de boulette débile.
Tu vois la fille aux cheveux bleus? Celle qui est devant le lycée.
Ouais, je vois très bien. C'est quoi? Non, mais vas-y, arrête de me faire attendre, tu me saoules là, dis-moi.
On s'est pécho.
Ouais.
On s'est pécho et un peu plus. Enfin, un peu.
Comment ça, vous avez couché ensemble? Non, sérieux?
Ouais.
Je sais pas de détails, genre des trucs. Qu'est-ce que vous avez fait?
Non, bah rien, c'était chez elle, on s'est embrassés et puis après.
Et d'un coup, vous avez baisé comme ça?
Ah, pas d'un coup, mais presque. Tu vois, on était chez elle, je me sentais trop bien, elle s'est bien embrassée. Au début, j'étais gênée, mais en même temps, j'avais tellement de plaisir que je te jure, la gêne.
Tu l'as léché?
Voilà. Elle a commencé à me toucher les seins. Après, elle est descendue, tu vois. Je sais pas, c'était fou, elle me touchait partout, ça pouvait être brut autant que ça pouvait être doux. Je sais pas, ça sentait la vérité, ça sentait de l'amour, genre partout dans son appart.
Ça sentait le cul. Et t'as réitéré, t'as remis?
Je sais pas, on l'a fait 15 fois. Et je te dis 15 fois, différents jours, pas la même nuit.
Et genre vous sortez ensemble, clairement ou pas?
Tu manges pas ton kebab ou quoi?
Si, mais attends, mais je suis passionné par ce que tu me racontes. Vas-y, dis-moi.
Sortie de chez elle, il était genre 21h, je l'ai laissé dormir, je l'ai regardé dormir 1 heure, à la fin je me suis dit arrête Adèle, c'est glauque. Je suis rentrée chez moi, ma mère elle m'a hurlé dessus, elle était effarée et je te jure j'étais comme ça. C'est fou, j'ai jamais ressenti ça, ça me prend en bas du ventre, ça me tord le ventre et puis après ça me met des frissons partout.
C'est le bonheur.
Tu penses?
Ouais, je pense. Qu'est-ce qu'il y a?
Faut que je me douche avant de passer chez elle.
At a dinner at Adele's home, Adele presents Emma to her parents as her friend, helping her with her philosophy studies. The ruse goes so far as to present Emma as having a boyfriend. The casual dismissal of the true nature of Adele and Emma's relationship is an indictment of the merciless reality of compulsory heterosexuality. Compulsory heterosexuality is the idea that female heterosexuality is both assumed and enforced by a patriarchal society. Heterosexuality is then viewed as the natural inclination or obligation by both sexes. The duplicitous nature of the relationship adds an element of desperation to the sexual intimacy. Adele is desperate to express her love for Emma in a way that can't be ignored or suppressed, even if she isn't capable of consistently expressing her love for Emma in a public milieu. She is driven to make sure that Emma unequivocally receives the passion she has for her. Adele does make attempts to publicly acknowledge her relationship with Emma. She and Emma attend the quintessential showcase of queerness, the annual Pride Parade. Adele's attendance at Pride is both as a curious spectator and as a willing participant to at least show some good faith effort to publicly acknowledge her identity. The irony is that Adele's family and friends are conspicuously absent from this celebratory event of love and the embracing of one's identity. The other public sphere in which Adele acknowledges her relationship is at a party for Emma. It is years later in the relationship and the women are living together. Adele is working as a preschool teacher, and Emma is pursuing her career as an artist. The relationship has entered a new phase, as Emma's symbolically blue hair is conspicuously absent. There is coldness to Emma that wasn't previously discernible. At the party, Adele plays the role of hostess and of Emma's muse. She's on the verge of tears when asked to give a speech, and it's not clear why she's emotional. Does she sense Emma's impending withdrawal from the relationship? Does she feel inadequate that she can't really engage in conversation with Emma's friends? She's uncomfortable watching Emma dote on one of her friends, who also happens to be a painter, and she's only mildly distracted by the handsome young actor who engages her. The party signifies the swan song of their relationship. After the party, the splintering of their relationship becomes more apparent. Adele recognizes that she just doesn't quite fit in with Emma's public milieu. Emma's passion for Adele, once such a formidable force, starts to wane precipitously. Adele experiences the distance as an arrow through the heart. Her incapacity to fit into a public milieu with Emma is the death knell of their relationship. Fraught with anxiety over the disintegrating relationship, Adele has nowhere to turn. She has no friends or family with whom she can connect to seek consolation or advice. Her closeted identity has isolated her. To quell her feelings of anxiety and isolation, she joins her colleagues for some dancing at a local club. In a fit of desperation and compromised judgment, fueled by her looming sense of inadequacy, she seduces one of her colleagues, effectively sabotaging her relationship with Emma. In contrast to so many of the scenes with Emma and Adele, which are filmed at close range, the postcoital scene with her nameless colleague is filmed from afar, indicating a lack of intimacy. She even gives him a fake address, wrestling with her shame and humiliation. Adele's infidelity is the final straw for Emma. Her patience is exhausted. She asks Adele point blank, "Are you ashamed of being with a woman?" Emma can no longer tolerate the shame that drives Adele's closeted identity. Adele desperately pleads for forgiveness, but Emma can't muster any, throwing her out into the street. For Emma, the relationship has run its course. For Adele, the wrenching pain of the relationship's dissolution is just beginning. She suffers tremendously, in silence, all alone. She is consumed by sadness and a longing that borders on obsession. Years after the breakup, Adele is still devastated by the loss. She is obsessed with reconciliation with Emma. She is mired in the self-delusion that sex alone can salvage a relationship. She clings to the sliver of hope that reconciliation is possible. When it becomes clear that reconciliation is not in the cards, Adele suffers another devastating blow. Though humiliated, she faces the devastation with grace. Emma invites her to one of her gallery openings, and Adele does decide to attend. Despite the fact that Emma has clearly moved on, Adele clings to any connection to Emma, changing to a dynamic of casual friendship. The gallery opening is a bitter reminder to Adele that Emma has moved on with her life. Adele walks away with a heavy heart. The blue dress signals her unwavering obsession. As blue as the warmest color demonstrates, a relationship is not only comprised of the personal dynamics between the two lovers. Every relationship is subject to the cultural and political forces that can either foster or inhibit its long-term prospects. Despite the visceral passion and emotional intimacy between Adele and Emma, their relationship could not survive the broader cultural and political context in which they lived. Adele's duplicitous identity inhibits her ability to move on from the crushing disintegration of her relationship with Emma.